Hello, good afternoon. This is JoyNews Today. I'm Carlos Caloni. We are live from our Kokomeme studios here in Accra and on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV 125. Coming up, President John Mahama asked the resident of Boko to imbibe tenets of Eid by giving peace a chance in the area. Also, JoyNews investigations show failed attempt to industrialize Songo salt mine as modernity and tradition lock horns. And later in our Ghana Month series, we'll tell you about how you can disappear in an enclave in the Upper West region if you don't ask for permission before you enter. We have business and showbiz in this package. Please stay with us. On our first story, for decades, Ghana has depended on the export of commodities such as oil, gas, cocoa, and gold. However, one valuable resource along the country's coastline, salt, has remained largely untapped. The Songo Lagoon in Adan, located in the Greater Accra region, is Ghana's largest salt reserve. Despite its potential to provide thousands of jobs, successive governments have failed to commercialize its production effectively. JoyNews' latest Hotline documentary investigates the repeated failed attempt to industrialize the Songo salt mine under 4 successive regimes.
Ghana has depended on exporting commodities such as oil, gas, cocoa, gold, and other goods for years. Salt, another valuable resource abundant along Ghana's coastline, remains less explored. The Songo Lagoon in Adan, located in the Greater Accra region of Ghana, is the largest salt reserve in the country. Unfortunately, the country has not been able to fully harness the potential of the salt mine, capable of providing employment opportunities to thousands of Ghanaians. 3 policy plans proposed for the development of salt resources in Ghana couldn't see the light of day. In this documentary, we investigate the reasons behind failed attempts to commercialize the Songo salt mine and the way forward. Under 4 successive regimes in Ghana's history, several companies and a list of individuals have attempted and failed in their quest to industrialize and drive sustainable development of salt at Adan. These failures were not because of a lack of capital. With government's quest to drive sustainable development of salt at Adan, 2 companies, Vacuum Salt and Star Chemicals, were given the lease to operate in the area.
Originally, it was about 37 square miles, but later on, government came in and said, well, it was going to share it 3 times, a 3, one for the chiefs again, and then one for Mr. Nate, and then in other words, it was divided into 3 parts.
Unfortunately, these 2 companies couldn't survive, and it wasn't because of capital.
Then started conflict because the methods used for industrial production conflicted with the traditional methods. Industrial production of salt should always have the lagoon full of brine, completely at loggerheads with the traditional methods, which would mean when the lagoon gets filled, they wait until it dries up, typically towards Hamatan, and then salt is formed in the lagoon, and then they mine it. So clear case for conflict.
Away from that, President John Mahama is asking the residents of Boko to imbibe the tenet of Eid by giving peace a chance in the area. The area has had its fair share of violence, leading to a rise in tension there. Speaking at Eid Fitr a while ago, President Mahama urged feuding factions to unite for a better Boko.
My brothers and sisters, building a better Ghana requires collective efforts and shared responsibility. Let me also reiterate that the celebration of Eid al-Fitr is one that should be done with peace and dignity. Unfortunately, in the past, reckless riding, reckless driving has led to unfortunate loss of life. And I want to say, no one must die in the celebration of Eid. No one must die at the end of the celebration of the holy month of Ramadan. And so I'm going to caution our young people who drive their cars recklessly and ride their motorbikes recklessly. I've asked the police to look out for you. And if you ride recklessly or drive recklessly, we'll arrest you. My brothers and sisters, let us work together, guided by the principles of faith, justice, and compassion, to create a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. May Allah bless our nation and guide us on the path of peace and prosperity. And on this day, I want to take the opportunity once again to call on our brothers and sisters in Boko to give peace a chance. On this holy occasion, where we celebrate the feast of Eid al-Fitr after the holy month of Ramadan, my brothers and sisters in Boko, let us give peace a chance.
Let's take you to the Volta region because the regional minister, James Gunu, has announced an initiative to prevent chieftaincy disputes. He says the Volta Region Coordinating Council, Volta Regional House of Chiefs and Peace Council will form a synergy towards achieving the objectives. Mr. Gunu made this known at the coronation of 3 traditional rulers in the Afiadenigba traditional area of the Keta municipality.
Rich Ghanaian culture and heritage were on full display at the coronation ceremony of the Chief of Dume Bonuga of Angolon Afiadenigba, Togbi Ekpe Subu II, Agbotadua Amesimeku, and Mama Yeshike Subu II, all of Angolon Afiadenigba. Traditional authorities from across the length and breadth of the country gathered to witness the performance of the final traditional rites for the newly installed chiefs and queen. Togbi Ekpe Subu II, who is a senior specialist obstetrician and gynecologist, said their installation marks a new beginning for the Afiadenigba traditional area. He appealed for the construction of the Angolo Afiadenigba road network to open up the area.
It is heartwarming to learn that our President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, was installed as a development chief of Ghana and Freeland. Therefore, I use this occasion to send a humble appeal for His Excellency's commitment to complete the Angolo Afiadenigba Havaji Road. When completed, this road will direct investment traffic toward this enclave to support the government's agro-business initiative.
The Chief of Keji, Togbi Tagbo, underscored the significance of the chieftaincy institution in the development of the country.
Let us always remember that chieftaincy belongs to the people, and its survival depends on its ability to serve their interests. A chief's authority is not for personal gain, but for the collective good of the community.
The Volta Regional Minister, James Gunu, highlighted efforts being made to curtail chieftaincy disputes in his jurisdiction.
Now capacity building now kuda inchifafa
I have had discussions with the Regional Peace Council and the House of Chiefs to We organize capacity building programs for our chiefs on peace building and development. We are planning to institute an annual award scheme for the most peaceful traditional area in the region.
The most peaceful traditional area in the region.
The event was characterized by drumming.
Let's now take you to the Ashanti region because the Ejisu Asaman community in that region has been hit with erratic power supply attributed to occasional breakdown of the community's borehole. Residents often tend to boreholes of neighbors for water to cater for their needs. They are appealing to government for a long-term solution. My colleague Nana Yaujima has more in the following report.
The existing borehole at Ejisu Asaman, built in the early 90s, has gone through several renovations. The regular breakdowns and repairs have drained the community until some residents began to sink boreholes for private use, mainly turned to streams for water supply. Stephen Buama is assembly member for Tikrum, Baro, Asaman electoral area.
We sometimes turn to the stream when the borehole develops a fault. We share the stream with animals. The repairs on the borehole may take time sometimes due to the costs involved.
Akwesi Brobe, a resident of the area, is worried about possible disease outbreak in the community.
A lot of us turn to the stream for water to survive. We can't continue to drink from unsafe water sources. It can cause diseases among the people.
Through a partnership between Rotary Club of Kumasi Premier International and electronic giants LG, a solar-powered borehole has been commissioned for the community. Aside from dealing with the community's water needs, the solar system is a means of promoting renewable energy. Katechie Afrifa is marketing manager of LG.
You know, as part of the SDGs, sustainability is key. How are we using the stuff that is around us to help enrich our lives? In Ghana specifically, there's a lot of sunlight. How are we going to convert these sunlight to make sure that it is also to our benefit?
Meanwhile, Rotary Club of Kumasi Premier International is encouraging the community to institute measures to maintain the facility. Rotarian Avinash Lakani is president-elect.
They've really got something good on their hands here. I think they should take very good care of it. They should maintain it because we know as a club that they do have more needs regarding sanitation issues. The club can always partner with them and do much more for the community provided the facilities that are given to them are maintained.
Let's stay a bit more in the Ashanti region because the regional minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, has fired back at critics labeling him a, quote, small boy and social media minister for his youthful exuberance and social media presence. The minister is defending the social media presence as strength in leadership, insisting his active engagement connects him with the people he serves. Dr. Amoako-Hene insists he will not exit the online space.
The Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, has had his experience as a politician and his frequent use of platforms like TikTok, Facebook and X being criticized. Addressing the small boy tag in particular, Dr. Amoako-Hene indicates that it falls in place of the president's vision of empowering the country's youth. Critics raise another contention. Social media minister, stemming from the minister's regular live streams, posts an update on social media and online platforms. Dr. Amoako-Hene stressed that tackling regional challenges will likely be best handled by youthful energy.
When I told you, they started tackling me as tomorrow. As tomorrow. Leadership is service. You know it's good. So if you are home and you want to send someone, it is the young boy that is sending. So we are in to serve. And if enough for anything, the youth have the energy to serve. The reason why they are serving and they are serving well. Now, they came in with another one. He's a social media minister. Now, I ask the question, who are the people on social media? Nobody knew that.
That is good afternoon. You're welcome to the holiday edition of the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Sama Yabwa. So our first story for today, Ghanaian actress Beverly Afaglo has made a shocking revelation about the local film industry, exposing a deep-seated bias that nearly derailed her own career. In a candid interview on the career trail with Irene Edubia-Ainen, she disclosed that many movie producers had a glaring preference for light-skinned actors, often overlooking talented dark-skinned actors.
Of Ghanaian entertainment, few names shine as brightly as Beverly Afaglo. The talented actress born and raised in Tema has carved a name for herself in the hearts of many Ghanaians thanks to her outstanding performances on screen. Beverly's acting credits include fan favorites such as I Love You But, Never Again, and A Northern Affair. However, it was her iconic role in The Prince Bride that really captured the attention of audiences. This was the role that truly launched her into stardom, making her a household name across the country. But like many actors, Beverly faced challenges that could have easily derailed her career. Recently, during an interview on the Career Trail program with Irene Edubia-Ainen, Beverly opened up about the early stages of her acting journey where the road wasn't as smooth as she had hoped. She revealed that most of her attempts proved futile because most movie producers at the time had a preference for light-skinned actors, believing they looked better on screen.
Our time, selection, most of the producers were doing was you have to be a half caste.
Hey.
Yes, I think Jackie was the only dark person. Because she was a star already, so they can't help it. They need her.
Why did they want a half caste?
They think light skin was good for pictures. They were acting whack, but still they would choose them over us.
This bias, she said, was frustrating, yet over time, the narrative in the industry began to shift as producers started to recognize the importance of diversity and inclusion in casting, and the demand for more black actors slowly but surely grew.
We got to the time that they don't have a choice than to be with us, because at that time, most of these stories that were out were kingdom, princesses, or girls. Those stories. So girls, you need us. You can't use just one person. You use everybody. So they knew that they had to work with us.
Beverly's journey is a powerful reminder that with perseverance, talent, and a bit of luck, success is possible even when the odds are stacked against you.
The wrap for the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline, and Suma Yabwa. Sports is up next.
Welcome to the sports segment with me, Daniel Granting. Let's go to the MTN FA Cup, where chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee, Wilson Arthur, has confirmed that the TNA Park in Takwa, Mediama's home stadium, will host the semi-finals of the MTN FA Cup. This weekend, or the past weekend, saw a number of teams make their way into the semi-finals at the Babayara Sports Stadium, which hosted all the quarter-final action both on Saturday and Sunday. Kumasi Asante Kotoko were also big winners on Sunday when they beat True Democracy by 2-1 in their particular quarter-final. It was Kwame Poku's a sensational stoppage time winner that booked the win for Asante Kotoko in front of their home fans. Their head coach, who is Prosper Nate Ogum, has spoken about that game and particularly about the MTN FA Cup, speaking about the fact that he and his squad are eyeing a win in this season's competition. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are top of the Ghana Premier League and now also in the semi-final of the MTN FA Cup. And Prosper Nate Ogum says his side are hopeful of claiming a double at the end of the season.
It is to win trophies. That's the aim of every coach. The aim of every player is to win trophies so that one day you can be remembered for. And to me, we just have to take it game by game. We've not gone to the semis. We are going to play against Brecon Chelsea. We just have to now switch our attention to the league. When the time is due, when it's about 2 weeks or a week to the game, we will focus or we redirect our attention to it. But I want to tell you, we are working harder and harder to make sure that we get the results. I want to say a very big thank you to them. As the season unfolds, they should still keep, supporting us that way. We'll also try our best always to make sure that we deliver to their expectation. And as I always say, these players, I have been engaging them one by one. They always tell me that some of the comments always put pressure on them. It draws their attention off the field, so sometimes it distracts them. So they should always be positive. They should always be hopeful, so that they will have their confidence from the blast of the whistle to the end. When they do that, we'll be able to achieve our target. And for the signings, I think they are all doing well. Kwame Poku, fantastic. Ajete, Sifa, they've been fantastic. The rest, Minta, and then Eduku, yeah, they've also contributed their quota.
And that's all for sports. Back to you, Carlos.
Right. We also heard of the passing of the Nigerian boxer.
Yeah.
I think over the weekend.
Yeah, the book.
Sad story there.
Very sad story.
Well, that's all we have time for here. You can log on to myjoyonline.com. We have a lot of stories on our website. My name is Carlos Kaloni. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.